Pope Leo XIV has just done something that is already sending shockwaves throughout the Catholic world. In a private and quiet meeting, he received the most feared and controversial cardinal from the previous era, Cardinal Arthur Roche. This meeting wasn't broadcast. It wasn't announced with loud declarations or official documents, but for those who follow closely the signs of change within the Vatican, the meaning behind this moment is loud and clear. Something is shifting. Something is cracking beneath the surface. And for the many faithful Catholics around the world who have been praying and waiting for justice regarding the traditional Latin Mass, this could be the beginning of a new and hopeful chapter. The decision to meet with Cardinal Roche is not just a symbolic one. This is the cardinal who, under the previous pontificate, was responsible for the harsh restrictions placed on the traditional Latin Mass. These restrictions, known by the name Traditionis Custodes, hit hard and deep in many parts of the world. They forced traditional communities into the shadows, removed priests from their ministries, and moved centuries-old liturgies to suburban areas where few could attend. The hurt caused by these measures is still being felt today. And yet, in the midst of that pain, Pope Leo XIV's quiet decision to receive Roche in a private audience has sparked a kind of cautious hope. Why would the Pope meet with the very man who represents the hardline approach against tradition? If Pope Leo intended to continue that same line, there would have been no need for this secretive and carefully timed meeting. He could have simply left the restrictions in place without another word. But instead he chose to speak, not with his mouth but with his actions. He chose to meet, and that simple choice, in the world of Vatican affairs, carries the weight of 1,000 proclamations. Following this meeting, something incredible happened. In the United States, in the Diocese of Charlotte, Bishop Michael Martin suddenly announced a suspension of the restrictions that were already decided for the traditional Latin Mass. These weren't rumors or vague comments. This was an official communication sent directly to the priests of the diocese. Bishop Martin did not say he was cancelling the restrictions completely, but he delayed them. And he chose to delay them not to an arbitrary date, but until October, the very deadline that the Vatican had set for global enforcement of Traditionis Custodes. This cannot be seen as a coincidence. The bishop even stated clearly that the Vatican may soon change its directives. Let that sink in. A bishop who just days before was ready to close down traditional Latin Masses in his diocese is now openly admitting that new instructions may be coming from Rome. That means something is happening, something is being prepared, something is being reconsidered. And what makes this more meaningful is that Charlotte had become a kind of test ground for enforcing restrictions. It was known as a place where closures were imminent. Priests were about to be reassigned. Masses were being moved far away. The traditional Catholic community there felt the pressure like never before, but now everything has been paused. Not stopped, but paused. And in the Vatican, a pause is often the first sign of a change in direction. Behind this pause lies not just one bishop's decision, but the power of faithful Catholics who wrote letters, signed petitions, and asked with dignity and respect for the chance to be heard. They did not protest in anger. They did not rebel. They simply stood their ground. And their efforts have borne fruit. This is how tradition is defended, not with division, but with courage and patience. We are now in a moment where possibilities are opening. Pope Leo XIV has not yet spoken officially, but everything around him is speaking loudly. The timing of the meeting with Cardinal Roche, the domino effect it has triggered, the words from Bishop Martin referring to possible future changes, the atmosphere inside the Vatican is not the same as it was before. And for the first time in years, many are daring to believe that a revision of Traditionis Custodes may really be on the table. This does not mean that everything will go back to the way it was. Pope Leo XIV is a man of careful steps. He is not rushing into decisions, but he is listening. He is reading the signs, and he is choosing, piece by piece, to build something new, something that allows unity rather than continuing division. If he really does revise the restrictions, even partially, it will mean that he is the Pope who understood the times, that he is the one who saw that punishing tradition does not build communion, In the past, the traditional Latin Mass has been treated like a threat, something to be managed, restricted, or even hidden away. But Leo XIV may be seeing something different. He may be seeing that tradition is not the enemy, that those who love the old rite are not rebels, but faithful Catholics longing for beauty, reverence, and holiness. And if that recognition finds its way into new policies or new documents, it will be the result of a vision that is both pastoral and courageous. The meeting with Cardinal Roche is just the beginning, but it tells us much. It tells us that the Pope is not ignoring the past. He is facing it. He is speaking to those who were part of it, and he may be preparing to write a new future, a future where traditional Catholics are no longer made to feel like outsiders, a future where liturgical coexistence is possible, where the old and the new do not have to fight each other, but can stand together. There are even whispers, still unconfirmed but growing louder, that the Vatican is drafting a new document, one that might clarify, soften, or even replace Traditionis Custodes, perhaps not entirely, perhaps not immediately, but even a step in that direction would be a moment of healing for many around the world. Let us remember that Pope Leo XIV came into office during a time of division and confusion. The Church had been through years of intense debates, scandals, and growing disunity. His mission, many believed, was to be a pope of reconciliation, someone who could bring together what had been torn apart. This moment, this quiet and careful moment, may be his first major test, and he is passing it with wisdom. Not with grand speeches, but with small actions. Not with dramatic reversals, but with thoughtful signals. The meeting with Cardinal Roche, the domino effect in Charlotte, the growing possibility of change. All of these point to a pope who is choosing a path of mercy and balance. In the end, it's not about sides. It's not about traditional versus modern. It's about the heart of the Church. It's about bringing peace where there has been pain. And that peace may now be on the horizon. Those who love the traditional Mass are not asking for power. They are asking for space. Space to pray, to worship, and to pass on their faith to the next generation. And if Leo XIV grants them that space, he will not be dividing the Church. He will be uniting it in a deeper way than rules or documents ever could. So we wait, we watch, and we pray, because in Rome the smallest gesture can become the seed of transformation. And right now, Pope Leo XIV has planted that seed. May it grow into something beautiful, something strong, and something filled with grace.